building behind me is a Radnor schoolhouse originally. It was built in 1882. It was one of several schoolhouses in Radnor. It was a one-room schoolhouse that was used for a very short period of time and ultimately became the property of the Montgomery Scott estate. We have been occupants of this building since the mid-1950s. Scouts have been very active in Radnor for over 100 years. The first Scout Troop, Wayne 1, was located closer to the Church of Savior across the railroad tracks. We had a cabin also in Odoricio Park for a period of time, and so we moved here. But since then, the troop has done a lot of investments in this property, and it was a few years ago that this property became up for sale, that ultimately the Friends of Radnor 284 were able to acquire this property for Scouts for the future. So there's been, in the last year, which is our centennial year for Scouts, efforts to restore the cabin. And you can see behind me we have a new roof, we have a new porch, and the culminating piece was adding the bell to a tower back to the building. So we have a functional bell at this point that brings us back to the earliest days of the schoolhouse. And Scouts, the main thing are the boys and the girls that are involved in Scouting run the unit. So my job is to give them guidance and assistance on running the unit. But for the most part, we're trying to develop boys and girls of character and leadership. The goal is always based on having a really, really quality program. And it kind of propagates itself. Just by having good people, I think, has led to this being a great program. And all the projects around us, I'm looking right now in a field that is in front of me, a Skunk Hollow and the Willows. We have at least 25 Eagle projects within my eyesight that I can see. People walk past them every day when they're walking through the Willows, and they often don't realize that somebody spent, months planning those projects. But they're the kind of thing that, we believe that everybody should contribute to the community. And when we teach our Scouts to do that, we think that's the benefit, that they'll go on and keep doing it. So we want them to be that as an adult, working our community. It's teaching them to be just beyond, getting the award of Eagle. It's really being a person that will contribute years ahead.
I went through the process of cleaning up the Friends of Radnor Memorial Park. It's over by Odoricio, and it's right off the Radnor Trail. I cleaned up that park and I installed a bike repair station because in the past I've always seen people with bikes that are broken down on the trail. I've seen them walking their bikes back if they get a flat tire or if they just needed a pump of air or like a wheel fell off. All kinds of things happen on the trail, and I figured that it was time to do something to help them. The station itself has a pump. It has all the tools you could possibly need to fix your bike if it broke down. One person's Eagle project is Sam Chanison. He made a composting bin for the Radnor Middle School, and he helped develop a program for the students on the benefits of composting and like how the process works with one of the FACS teachers there. There have been a number of Eagle Scout projects at the Willows and Skunk Hollow. Many Scouts have done kiosk. So you might see around the Willows there are a bunch of different stands where you can put up information. There's maps. There's a bunch of kiosks that were made by Scouts for the community. There's a big sign for Skunk Hollow that's over there that was also made by an Eagle Scout. And there's an orienteering course that was designed and developed by a Scout in our troop.
So my project is a walkway in the Skunk Hollow / Willows Park. It's over a very muddy area, and it is extending an old project that an older Scout, Aviel Shalev, made a couple years ago. I wasn't in the troop at that time. My Eagle Scout project is basically extending that because a lot of dog walkers can't get through the swampy area at some points, especially after storms. So they would have to go around and find dry spots to walk, and then that would destroy the vegetation over there. So I made it easy for them, and they just could walk straight through the muddy area, a nice walkway. I wasn't sure how this was going to help the community, but as time went on, I got a lot of people coming to me like, this is so helpful, so useful. And I've gotten a lot of messages from the community like, thank you so much for doing this Eagle project. I can finally take my walks, my normal hikes there without worrying about coming home with just muddy feet and all, and my dog as well.
So I knew I had to do a project somewhere like around Radnor to help the community. And I thought the library would be a good place to help out since the building was new. And At first, I went in and asked if I could build like a train table inside, and she said since it's new, they don't really need anything inside. Mrs. Leapple. She took me out here and she was like, we could use something out here if you like. And then I suggested a gazebo. The first step was making sure there was no pipes where we dug the holes. We dug the holes and we put the 4 posts up and cemented them and made sure they were like properly aligned and level. And then after that, see the 5 series of triangles on the inside? We assembled those on the ground. And then we put the longboard horizontals across the middle so we could stand on them. And then we screwed them in. And then from there we put the roof on and then made final touches.
My name is Ulysses Buzan. I'm working on becoming an Eagle Scout, and I'm an assistant senior patrol leader with Radnor Troop 284. Behind me, we have the project that I built as a part of my Eagle Scout application. So I planned and built this deck with a lot of help from everyone in the troop because you can see how big the deck is. It took us about 8 weeks of work with somewhere between 2 and 8 volunteers here every day, twice a day on the weekends. Plus, I put in a lot of work during the week. So you can see all of our projects are different in scope, but we try to build things that have a large impact on the community. And this deck has a huge impact because everyone that lives here at the ABC house now has a much larger place to enjoy outside.
I am standing right here in front of John Jansen's Eagle Scout project. He's a senior rising freshman in college at Radnor High School. And he basically built these 2 low houses for the ABC house. And basically there's like a storage unit where you can put stuff in it. And then other Eagle Scout project that I'm going to talk about is Leo Luan's Eagle Scout project. He's also a senior rising freshman in college from Radnor High School, and he repainted all the bridges on the Radnor Trail. They were kind of weathered away, the paint was falling off, so he went back and painted everything white again, and now they look very neat, very clean and on. And I also helped him for that. It was a very long Eagle project. It took a lot of time and effort, but it paid off at the end.
To work on the advancements, the things that they do, they start out at a basic level, Scout, and they work their way up to Eagle. It's a long process, and the boys you may have seen in this video, it's taken them years to really do that. And it's not just all paperwork or bookwork. It's camping time, it's hiking time. Most of people who have done this have camped probably over 100 nights. They've hiked probably over 200 miles. They've canoed over 100 miles easily. So these numbers seem like they're far, but if you do them over time, it's the kind of thing that they learn.
Eagle Scout is definitely a rank worth fighting for. I would definitely recommend any scouts out there try for it at the very least because it's a great experience. Even if you don't get it, being able to do a community service project that helps other people out is just very rewarding in itself.
We have inherently a good community. I think the people in Radnor really are civic-minded. I think our troop is a testament to our community. I think the troop itself, we've been fortunate to have a series of leaders before us that have really built this. And I think we have a community, and our sponsoring organization is Wayne Presbyterian Church. We have people from various backgrounds in our troop, from different schools. We don't have just students from Radnor. They come from Episcopal, Haverford. We have a larger area that people come to us. We have Radnor 284 girls as well. It's our newest addition. I can speak for them. It's a separate troop, but the Radnor 284 Trailblazers started 2 years ago, and they've gone from just a few girls to having probably about 14 right now. And we're very proud of that program, only because now we have an opportunity for the girls in our community to do the same things that the boys have done. So we're expecting a few girls to achieve Eagle Scout rank in the next few years, which again, they'll be doing the same projects for our community. So we're very proud that we have the girls addition to this.
Troop 284 is a really great place to go through scouting, and it gives you a really good opportunity of becoming an Eagle Scout because you're surrounded by people that are willing to help you, both with building your project and guiding you along the way. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity here, and if you're interested in being a Boy Scout and hopefully eventually becoming an Eagle Scout, I would suggest you join Radnor Troop 284.